Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be checking out a story, man, coming from Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be checking out a video coming from the YouTube channel Raising Wild Flowers. And if you guys want to see the original video, a link will be in the description of this video, so you can check out the original video. Show some love to the original content creator. And we'll be checking out a very concern entitled video. The title of the video is "The USA is a Third World Country for Millions of Americans. Cost of Living Crisis." I can't disagree. And I think this has been the United States for a very long time. I'm fortunate enough to have not been in this situation. However, I have seen many people in this situation. So it's not a lie regarding the crisis and the fact that millions of Americans are actually not living the American dream. So let's check out her perspective and see where this video leads us. And thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe and share your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below.
America is the richest country in the world. So why does life feel so poor for so many of us? This isn't a temporary crisis. This is real life for millions of people in a country that calls itself the land of opportunity. Over 38 million Americans live below the official poverty line. 44 million
Damn,
face
bro.
food insecurity. More than 650,000 Americans are homeless each night. Over half of working adults can't afford a $500 emergency. The top 1% of Americans hold over 30% of the nation's wealth.
Damn. That is the definition of inequality. 1% owns 30%. Whew.
While the bottom 50% of Americans hold just
Damn.
2% of the wealth. I know what it feels like because we lived it. We are a low income family. We've experienced food insecurity. We have lived without access to affordable health care. We have lost jobs through no fault of our own, and we have been exhausted. But after we left the US to find a better life for our family, we noticed something that changed the way we viewed everything. In places that America calls developing countries or third world countries, we have found people living better on far less, but are much happier. They have much higher quality of lives than we did back in the States. Through our experience traveling through lesser developed countries, we have discovered that the system in America is not broken by accident. It is broken by design, and it is something that we all need to start talking about more. Let's be honest, for a lot of Americans, especially in rural areas, life isn't just hard, it's broken. And if you're living it, you don't need statistics to know what I'm talking about, but let's go over some anyway, just so that you know you're not alone. 1 in 8 Americans rely on food banks or SNAP just to feed their families. Rents have doubled in many towns, even while wages stay flat. Healthcare cost is the leading cause of bankruptcy in the US. And in rural areas, no hospitals for miles, no public transit, no options. If you're
Yeah,
poor in
that's straight facts right there. In rural areas, you're not gonna have a public transportation. You ain't gonna have nothing with no medical. Oh man, this video is actually making me depressed. Damn.
America, you are expected to survive a system that was never designed for you. You're told to work harder, hustle more, grind until it gets better. But the truth is, you can work every single day of your life, multiple jobs, and still never be able to afford to buy a home, to pay all of your medical bills, or to buy truly healthy food for your family. That is not a personal failure. That is what happens when your
Systematic.
country treats basic
Yeah,
human needs
systematic.
as a profit opportunity. For most of our lives, we have lived in the southern Appalachian region of East Tennessee, and then later we moved to Southwest Virginia. We not only have personal experience with this, but we also watch the struggle of our
If I'm not mistaken, I think my friend moved to Virginia. Yeah, yeah, it was actually wild. And I've always spoken about that friend because it was a very close friend of mine. Um, we were tight. You know, she had a lot of experiences. She's the one person that if I never understood what it's like to be bankrupt because of medical issues, she's the person that I understood it from because she was the product of bankruptcy because of medical bills. Because she had so many medical issues and she had to do what she had to do, and well, she's indebted because of it. So, yeah, sucks.
entire families. So this story isn't just about us. It's about our community, our friends, our loved ones, and it's about a lot of you. We did everything to make it work. We grew our own food. We bought things secondhand. We took care of our stuff. We fixed stuff when it broke instead of buying new things. We were not materialistic. We were super frugal and lived below our means, debt free. We just did all the things that we felt were right. But still, no matter how frugal we were, no matter what we did, we still could never truly break out of the system. And it's not just us, it's our loved ones, our grandparents, aunts, cousins, neighbors. They are all working so hard and they're still struggling. They work in factories, construction jobs, in slaughterhouses. They're CNAs, they're teachers. These are irreplaceable jobs that are vital, but yet they're still not paid a living wage. The constant fear of your car breaking down
Mm.
or a illness that will keep you from going to work and paying
Yeah,
your
that one touch home, dog. That one touch home. That's like one of the realest shit I ain't never heard nobody talk about before. That one really hit me in the chest, bro. Like, you do not understand the average American driving a vehicle that is half dead. Literally. Holy shit. A lot of people talk about healthcare and all these things, but nobody talks about cars in the United States. Nobody really talks about that. Holy shit. If you ever knew how expensive it is to actually have a proper vehicle in the United States and actually to maintain that vehicle. Like, there's so many people just driving with half dead vehicles, and I've seen and witnessed them. And the regulations are actually not that stiff in the United States. So, yeah, you can get away with a lot more in the United States than you could in Europe. However, it's not fun to be driving a freaking car that is literally half dead, you know, because you're broke.
bills, let alone a doctor's visit. One bad month that can completely wipe you out. That isn't freedom, that is survival mode. And that's what it feels like to millions of people across the US. This is the country that is the wealthiest nation in the world, and a huge percentage of the population can barely make ends meet. So we made a decision that most people don't even think is possible. We left. We started traveling Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, and what we saw completely changed our viewpoint of what a poor country actually looks like and what's possible when a society prioritizes people over profit. We
Mm.
weren't looking for much when we left the US. Honestly, we were just looking for a more affordable place to survive and have a higher quality of life. But what we found when we got here was something we never really expected. We found access to healthcare, to affordable housing, affordable
Where? Hold on.
transportation,
In
access to
Thailand?
survive and have a higher quality of life. Looking for a more affordable place to survive and have a higher quality of life. But what we found when we got here was something we never really expected. We found access to healthcare, to affordable housing, affordable transportation, fresh food, amazing community, safety in countries that we had been told our entire lives were third world countries. In
You're lying
Thailand,
to me.
there's universal health care. In
You're
Vietnam,
lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Just cut the crap. Are you serious? No, me hearing that just like shoots my brain out. Like, wait, what? By the way, speak about universal health care. You guys probably see this on my nose, right? I was trying to paint because it's summer, trying to paint some wood. And some of you guys do know I moved to Finland, hence the reason why I make these videos, because that's what started it. I make videos about Europe, other Americans who have moved outside of the United States because I moved to Finland and I wanted to learn more about other people's experiences and also about the countries around where I live. So, back to the point. This is because of universal health care, right? Yes, I contribute to the Finnish society and so on and so forth. That's not the point that I'm getting at here. It's not like a handout. I'm not promoting handout, right? But what I'm trying to say is I busted my nose like I don't know if you guys know what a vice grip is. I think that's the name of it. I went like I was opening a can of paint, and you're not supposed to use that. You're supposed to use like a thin metal, pry it open, right? And it accidentally slipped, and it went bow, and I was bleeding my entire face. Not my entire face, but it was down like that, right? And I went to the hospital. I know there might be a bill that is going to come to me in about 2 weeks because usually that's what happens in Finland. But that bill is going to be under 50 euros, guaranteed, right? So that's what universal healthcare is. And I can tell you that you're not going to be that lucky in the United States, right? But hey, talk your shit, mama.
80% of people are covered by public health insurance, and healthcare costs are much lower. While we were in Vietnam, we had to take our 2-year-old to the ER after a head injury, and we paid a little over $7 out of
Jesus.
pocket to be seen, and that was without health insurance. Meanwhile, in America, it can cost $300 just to go to the doctor and thousands of dollars for an ER visit, and that's with insurance. In the food here is so healthy. It is
Oh
fresh.
no,
It's
that's
grown
fresh.
locally. There are neighborhood street markets on every corner. It is affordable food,
And
even
it's
when
so
you can.
clean. Good God. Like America has markets too. Don't get it twisted. It exists, and she would know that too, right? But these bad boys right here, affordable is the key word, right? They're affordable and they're fresh, right? You do get fresh stuff in the United States, but they are not cheap.
Compare it to the wages that the people make here. There's fresh vegetables and fruit and meat and spices and pre-cooked to-go meals that you can just grab and take home with you that are made by local families. Even the poor families here eat well. They have access to affordable, healthy foods. It's not owned by corporations. It's not profitized. It's just local people feeding each other. Compare that to rural America, where processed food is more affordable, maybe the only thing available, and people may have to drive 20 miles just to get to a grocery store. In the community here is strong. They are still very much family oriented. Families live together, elders are respected, children are respected. People know their neighbors. They look out for each other, even us, even being foreigners, even not being from this area. Just the community vibe that we get, particularly with our 2-year-old, we feel so safe and accepted here. Listen, we've been told our whole lives that America is the greatest country in the world. And I'm not here to bash America. There are some amazing things about America. I love certain parts of being American, of
Of
course.
course.
I'm not denying that. But we still
America is a very great country and it's very powerful, but it's just the truth. Not everyone who is American experiences that greatness.
have to acknowledge the problems that we are facing. A lot of us are facing in and are truly struggling. We've been sold the lie that if you work hard enough, that if you sacrifice enough, everything is going to be okay. But what I've seen overseas is that a good quality of life is not only about wealth and making more money. It is about priorities. These countries aren't perfect, far from it. No country is, but they are prioritizing healthcare, affordable housing, transportation, community care, basic human dignity. While in America, that is slipping away for millions of people. So when people ask us, why did we leave? Isn't it scary to move abroad? Our answer is no. What's scary is being one hospital visit away from losing everything. What's scary is watching people that you love break down from stress, debt, and isolation in the richest country on earth. If you are struggling right now, if you're exhausted, anxious, stressed, just know that it's not your fault. You're not lazy, you're not stupid, and you're not broken. You are living in a system that was not designed for you to succeed. It's not designed to take care of you. It's designed to extract from you. We've all been sold the same
Yeah,
story. If you work hard enough,
exploitation, man. That's. I think somebody recently said it in a conversation in another video. Like, if you work hard enough, you're still not gonna be as rich as some of these guys are. And the reason why these guys are that rich is because they're exploiting people. Not paying fair wages and stuff like that. It's
if
quite
you
sad,
follow the rules, if you keep your head down, then you will live the American dream. But that American dream just isn't true for most of us anymore. The cost of housing, food, education, healthcare have all skyrocketed, and wages have barely moved in 40 years. Meanwhile, billionaires are tripling their wealth and corporations pay almost no taxes. This isn't a failure of individuals, it is a failure of policies by both parties that over decades have prioritized profit over people. Us in America are owned by corporations. Everything is for profit. Our healthcare, our food system, things that are basic human needs. Our government bails out banks. They let corporations outsource jobs, slash benefits, and raise prices. They defund schools and healthcare in our towns. And you are just told to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I get told a lot that wages in these other countries are a lot lower than in the US. And yes, while that is true, somebody in Thailand can still pay for housing, food, healthcare, all of their basic
Yeah,
needs.
that's the problem though, because what's happening is that we're being told that wages over here is cheaper than over here, but the wages that you make here is in relation to the cost of living, right? The cost of living in America, just being honest, like a base budget wage in the United States is not going to cut the cost of living. If you're like, let's say you're 20, 25, pushing to 30, it's not going to cut it. It's as simple as that. You're going to need a upgraded job in order to actually survive in the United States. To pay rent is like hella expensive. Just imagine getting cleared for a freaking loan for a house. That's not going to be very easy, right? So all that dream and aspiration is out the door, right? But in those countries, food is cheaper, everything is cheaper, right? So technically, what you do have covers what you want.
And still have money left over at the end of the month to save or have a little bit of fun with. While in the US, if you look at the same average wage and then deduct all of your meeting your basic needs expenses, healthcare, housing, transportation, all of that, there's no money left over. In fact, most people are going into debt just to meet their most basic needs today. So while the wages are lower in these developing nations, the cost of basic living expenses are also much lower. We have personally lost family members due to the healthcare crisis in the US. We have watched families not only lose their lives, but their homes. We have watched neighbors lose jobs, lose hope. And through it all, we've been told that it is our responsibility to fix it. But there's no fixing the system that is controlled by money when you don't have any to begin with. And the thing that is most frustrating is that this country has the money, it has the resources, but what it doesn't have is the desire to build a system in which ordinary people are able to survive and maybe even thrive. And that's why we left, not because we hate America, but because we wanted to be able to live. So you might be thinking, that's great for you, but I can't just pack up and leave the country. And I totally get that. I am not suggesting that everyone just pack up and move. I know that there are very valid reasons why a lot of people can't do that. But what we need to do is we need to wake up to the reality of what is going on. And you need to know that you are not trapped. You've just been told that you are. Step one is to question the narrative.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. Like, if you feel as if, you know, like there's no issue, that's where we have a problem. If you feel as if, okay, there's no issues with the United States, I can totally become Jeff Bezos in a few years. That's where you have a problem, right? The mindset just has to change because the system is not going to get you there, right? If you already have a foot in the game, then you're totally fine. But if you ain't got no foot in the game, you're not going anywhere, and it's that simple. So I absolutely understand what she's saying. Of course, if you want to stay in the United States, so what? Stay, but don't be in denial and think that the United States is going to be the most perfect place for your survival. And that's just the simple truth. I've said it time and time again. I think the United States is perfect if you want to make money. But if you are trying to live and have a long, healthy life, the United States is not going to cut it, buddy.
Start asking yourself, who is benefiting from me believing that my suffering is normal? That I should have to work two jobs just to afford to pay rent and put food on the table? That I deserve to go into debt just to go to the doctor? You don't deserve that. Nobody does. The system wants you to believe that. They want you to think that you're failing so that you will work harder. It's your fault for not figuring it out. It's your fault for not working hard enough, for not getting the right college degree, for not having the right job. Step two is to rebuild your life around your priorities. Wherever you are, whether you live in rural America, the city, or another country, really stop and think what
What do you
you
want?
want your priorities in life to be. Is it healthy food? You can start a garden or going to farmers markets or really deep diving in ways on how to source healthy, low cost foods. I have a whole playlist on my channel on the most affordable foods that we bought while we were in the US and tons of recipes and everything that we were able to keep our grocery budget really low by eating very low cost but healthy foods. Do you want to
You gotta run them beans, boy. You gotta run them beans, boy. Sorry, but beans and rice. I'm telling you, beans and rice. You trying to live on a budget in the United States? Beans and rice. Beans and rice go crazy. I think you probably can get like a bean, like, and the bean like probably lasts you probably like I don't know, maybe 2 days. You get a little bean, that's gonna be like 250 max. Ain't no way the beans over that 250. And you get you a bag of rice or something like that. Shit, beans and rice, boy, go crazy.
establish a greater sense of community, getting to know your neighbors, building mutual support with each other, having that strong support system with your community? Are there things that you want to learn, which everybody should continuously be learning, reading books, learning about other cultures and countries? You don't have to
That's
go
what I
anywhere
do.
to learn these things. That's something that I'm going to be sharing here on my channel, or just the things that we learn as we're traveling around. Do you need to become more financially literate so that you
She got good points, man. Y'all got to check out the rest of the video on her channel. I want you guys to go over there because she got really, 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 really good points. And it makes a lot of sense. And she's not promoting hate towards America. And that is exactly what I try to get up here all the time when I make a video about life in the United States. It's not hate towards the United States. The United States is wonderful. It's amazing. However, the truth is just the truth that there are many places in this world where you can have life a lot easier. If you are trying to live and that's it, you're trying to go to your 9 to 5 job, come back home and just live, the United States is not going to be the best place on this earth for that at all. If you got money, shit, do you, right? If you're trying to make money, look at Elon. I'm pretty sure he was not even 10% of what he is now in the United States back when he was in South Africa. So if that's what you are, that's who you are, you're all about your money, the United States is definitely the place for you. But if you are just an average Joe that has nothing, places like Europe are perfect. I didn't even know that Thailand was like, is it Thailand or Thailand? I think it's Thailand. I didn't know that Thailand was like that. Like, I don't know much about Asian countries. It's just straight up, right? But it's pretty amazing that they have universal health care. Really big shock for me because when you compare Thailand to the United States, you're like, wait a minute, wait, what? You versus you, and you have that, and you don't have that. It's a big shocker, right? But that's just how the world spins. But thank you guys for watching this video. Please do let me know your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below. And if there's anything else tricky about Thailand in the comment section, let me know. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.